Okay. Okay. Hello everyone. We should be live. I'm just checking that. Yes, I believe we are live. I'm just checking my window here. Good morning. We're just a minute or so early from our scheduled time, but just to welcome you if you have just arrived. A warm welcome. It's another cloudy day in London, but it's not too cold today, so we have some benefits. Makes it slightly easier in lockdown if it's not sunshine outside, but hopefully you may have a garden. So, okay, before we start, just to say that we're here to support you through the crisis, and that meditation is one of the most perfect tools to strengthen our mental health, to make us more positive. I think the word mental health is somewhat a broad statement, and people often say just because they're stressed their mental health suffers, which I suppose is a way of categorizing it. But these are normal things. We go through stress every day in different ways, but it's essentially how we cope with that stress that is important. So meditation is the perfect tool to bring peace, calm, tranquility into your system. And then when you find you are experiencing that peace, it does reflect on those around you. So that's why I'm really happy that if you're joining us for the first time this morning, welcome. If you are returning to revalidate correct practice, well done, because we do encourage that. We want you to keep popping back in, even though this is a very simple technique to learn that you can learn in one lesson. No doubt you will have questions about your breathing, about thoughts, and please use the chat window to communicate with us. So I think we had some technical problems last evening, so I do apologize if you were waiting and nothing happened. There was some technical problems, but I think we've got those sorted now and we're almost ready to kick off, which is wonderful. How are we doing for time? Okay, so we are on our time slot. So we'll wait just a couple more minutes. So especially next week for our classes, we're going to be talking about self-help, how we can incorporate this into our meditation practice, and how we can focus on, just becoming more effective despite being under the pressure of challenges with COVID. My concern is many people at the moment are suffering because they may have lost their job, and it doesn't look like there's great prospects for jobs now because the economy has shrunk. Okay, albeit temporarily. You may be furlonged, so you don't actually know what is going to happen after that furlong period. You may be cooped up with people who you may be sharing an apartment with someone who you don't always get on with. There could be family challenges, etc. So these are things that are very difficult to deal with. Meditation is the perfect tool to help you challenge those difficulties. Okay, so we're going to be starting shortly. So please get comfortable. I'm going to go through some instructions. So I'm just going to move back from the camera. Okay, so one thing to ask, please, if you can, is if you will subscribe to my channel so that you will get updates and notes, not only when we're going live, but obviously when we're publishing new content, which we will be doing this week. So look out for this coronavirus video. I hope you will find it very useful. And you can also hit the bell for reminders when content goes live. So what we're trying to achieve here is that meditation is going to reduce anxiety. Anxiety is the base of stress. And obviously the fundamental cause of anxiety and therefore stress is some form of fear. That fear may come from our insecurities or instabilities. So if we inject strength through meditation into those anxieties, reduce those fears, we will have less stress. It's really as simple as that. The technique that you're going to learn today is very, very simple, almost childlike. And that's why we encourage your children to join us, because anyone can practice this. But however, do not assume that this is not powerful. Often in life, the simplest things are the most profound, the most spiritual and the deepest, and this is the case here. So even doing this small practice can really transform your life. We would want to encourage you that when lockdown is over, to come and take a more advanced course with us. Vaisu is a non-profit educational charity. We're not commercially focused. We are here to serve humanity. And therefore, through our 70 different teaching centres throughout Europe, we hope that we can help you further on your journey of spiritual unfoldment. Meditation is just not for relaxation. It will give you that relaxation. But what we want to do is to engage that powerful universal force within, which we could call the spirit, and make sure that's flowing freely in our lives. That is so important today, and especially the way our world is structured. It does not encourage peace, and we want to find that peace, but that peace is you standing on that firm foundation. Okay, so a few notes. Timing of your practice. We meditate for 20 to 30 minutes. Do not use apps. There is no need to use a meditation app. You might have done this to learn. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. But you're dependent on an exterior source. Meditation is all about focusing on those inner resources and making sure that we're connected and we're using them to better ourselves. So, we meditate twice daily, as I said before. If you're having sleep issues, do not meditate too near to bedtime. But most people find that meditation improves insomnia, if not reduces it completely. We've had lots of wonderful experience of people overcoming insomnia after many, many years in very quick periods of time. So your children can meditate with you. A small child will not have the endurance to stay for 20 minutes, but if they can stay for the first 10 or 15 minutes with you, I promise you they will be more manageable, less hyper, and it obviously helps them. It's a practice for everyone regardless of age. Be upright as much as you can. Maybe you're sitting up in bed at this time in the morning. Be sitting up reasonably erect, but be comfortable. Do not be too far back. And obviously bed is not always the best place to meditate because we're so habituated with sleeping in bed that when we get into that nice little niche in our bed, we might go to sleep. Okay. Now also sleep, if you do fall asleep in meditation, it simply means your body needs to take those resources, because when we sleep in meditation, it is far deeper in the sense of physical relaxation than sleep itself. So this may be a bit of an adjustment for you to catch up on some rest. That's absolutely fine. No animals or in the room. We don't meditate with dogs, not only because they might disturb us, but they also draw our subtle energies that are produced or intensified, increased as we meditate. And we want these energies for us, not for the dog. So we sit. The position, I'm just going to move back so that you can see. So we cross our hands like this or like this, but have them gently rested in your lap. Okay, so I'm now just going to remove that caption so you can see that again. There we go. Just in this position, hands together, nice and relaxed. People sometimes think, oh, do I have to do exercises before meditation? Not really. Our meditation is so powerful that after you've done it for a few days, it will relax you without the need to stretch. But if you are a tense person, you can stretch. If you do yoga, do it before the meditation and let the meditation be at the end. That's quite important. Be comfortable. If you're too warm, unclothe. If you're too cold, add something, put a blanket around you, etc. So timing, people are concerned about the timing. How do I judge 20 minutes? So easy. What we want to do is to, just before the meditation, as we close our eyes, and we're going through that part next, just tell ourselves mentally 20 to 30 minutes. Good. Okay, so we're basically going to begin. If you have any questions, please put in the panel. We are on the right hand side, we do have a support email. So if you have any questions after the session, because it's not so long, then please email us, which will create a support case, and we'll be able to answer you in person. Also, for the lesson today, the room is quite bright. We would normally meditate in a room that has a degree of darkness. Do not meditate in a pitch black room. That's very important. And be comfortable. Try and meditate in the same place every day, because you will be familiar with all the creaks and the noises around you. External noises should not affect you, okay? Simply because we can't stop a plane flying over, and we will hear that during meditation, but that is not a disturbance. Okay, let's get going. So the first thing I want you to do is to close your eyes really, really slowly. Just relax, and we're going to keep our eyes closed just for 10 seconds. In life, we're so externalized, we're always focusing to the exterior. Meditation is a change where instead of looking outside, we're looking inside. So this is the beginning of a beautiful journey of self-discovery, because possibly we've never taken a good look inside. Now, with your eyes closed, and remember that we always close our eyes very, very slowly, and we open them in the same manner, almost as if they were stuck together, so that we do not shock our nervous system from this deep state that we have gone to within. So now place your attention on your breathing, like the rising and falling of the chest, the breath just going in and out. Do not try to alter the rhythm of the breathing. Do not try and quicken, slowen, intensify, detensify. We just want to be the observer. Just watch the breathing. And we're going to do that now for a couple of minutes. Okay, good. Open your eyes slowly again and look towards the screen. Was that easy? Yes, no doubt it was. So now we're going to add another element into this. The important thing is that you do not alter the rhythm of the breathing. You are just its observer. Now, when I ask you to close your eyes, wait 10 to 15 seconds, and again, put your attention on the breathing. So let's close our eyes again. Okay, so we're going to continue watching the breathing, but now when you realize that you're only having thoughts, without pushing those thoughts away, gently return your attention to the breathing. Now, thoughts are an integral part of meditation. Yeah, they're not intruders, and they're part of our system or makeup. Thoughts intensify obviously when we're stressed. So if you have lots of pressures at this moment, it's quite possible that different thoughts will be popping up during the meditation, and that's absolutely fine. When we realize we're only having thoughts without pushing those thoughts away, that is so, so important. We just, like over the top, become aware of your breathing and start watching your breathing again. You will find that it will tail off. You know, the thoughts will just drop away. And often as they drop away, they pull you down into the depths of yourself, which is a lovely feeling. Also, when those thoughts keep coming through the mind in meditation, they're like on a movie screen. We're somewhat more non-attached to them than we were before, and therefore this loses their hold upon us, and they will calm down. And this again helps us to cope with those particular situations because they have become less intense. So you see that thoughts in meditation are an integral and important part. The only caveat here is if you keep having lots of thoughts, that's fine, quite natural. In some meditations, no thoughts. In other meditations, 99% thoughts. As long as we keep returning to the breathing without pushing those thoughts along or away, we are practicing correctly. Okay, so now with your eyes still closed, we're going to extend the time and go to another 15 or 20 minutes. So just to recap, place your attention on your breathing, the rising and falling of your chest, the air going in and out. We just keep doing that in a very gentle way, just being the observer. But after some time, we will notice that our attention drifts away from the breathing to just thoughts alone. And as we just said, that is completely correct. But when you realize that your attention is completely off the breathing and you are only having thoughts, without pushing those thoughts out of your mind, bring your attention back to the breathing as before and continue. So it's a cycle. Awareness of the breathing, thoughts, without pushing the thoughts away, come back to the breathing. Okay, let's go. Okay. Now we're going to surface from the meditation, but take at least 2 minutes before opening your eyes slowly, very slowly, as if they're stuck together, so this is not shocking to your nervous system. So very, very slowly, then open your eyes. If you're not sure what 2 minutes feels like, count slowly to 120. Just allow yourself to come up naturally. We don't finish meditation, open our eyes and rush into activity. This is a bit shocking, as I said, to the nervous system, and we want to preserve that peace so that it extends through many, many more hours of our day until we meditate again. And then finally, when you're ready, open those eyes super, super slowly. Good. Okay. Lovely. So we want you to do this practice twice a day for 20 to 30 minutes. Please try and adjust your routine so that you can fit this in. If you're at home and you're not working or you're furloughed, then it's a lot easier. But if you get into a good routine now, that when you do go back to work or start traveling, this will just become a natural part of your day. Meditation is never boring. I've been meditating for 40 odd years, and each one is different. Each one has its own form, because obviously we're in different states at different times. But what we want to ensure is that we are growing spiritually. This means not in a religious sense. This means that that spiritual force or that divine resource, reservoir that is within, we are having access to it constantly. Eventually it just flows through you naturally, but we need in the early days to awaken this, and this is so, so important. So please, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, or use on the right hand side, you'll see the support, right, I'm not sure it's right or left, but at the bottom here, encouragement for you to subscribe to the channel, but also to use the support email if you have any further questions. Now again, pop back, it's quite important. Pop back into this feed and basically try and come back for that reason, to validate your practice. Okay, someone has asked here, I want to ask if I should put my attention on my breathing all the time during the meditation, or only when thoughts are coming. It's a combination of both. Just to remind you that be aware of your breathing, and then essentially we would go on to thoughts. Yeah? When we realize we're only having thoughts, we come back to the breathing without pushing the thoughts. So really, yes, it's just a continuation, a combination of those two things, but the breathing is primary. We always go back to the breathing, carry on with the breathing, and then thoughts will float up in the mind. When we realize the breathing has gone, our attention to the breathing is no longer there. Without pushing those thoughts away, return to the awareness of the breathing. Is that clear, Mariana? Good. If you're still struggling with that, create a support, email the support number there. Okay, well, we're almost up for our time, so thank you very much for joining us today. It's been my pleasure, as always, to serve you. As I said, it's very important, even though this is a simple practice, like Mariana has had here various questions, please keep checking back in here and join the meditation with us so we can validate your practice. You're most welcome, Mariana. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we hope to see you again soon. Just to remind you, the sessions are 8:15 a.m. GMT +1 British Summer Time and 5 p.m. in the evening. So hopefully this is while you're coming home from work, when you're finished a shift. Keep the computer on because you need to connect, but let's connect here to that spiritual force within. Meditation will change your life, and it's going to be a fabulous tool through all these difficulties that the world is experiencing now. So again, thank you for joining, and I hope to see you at 5 o'clock or another morning or evening. Thank you very much.